I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw it, and I was talking to some local people that live in the area, and they were ecstatic that this wall was being constructed right near the
All right, thanks for coming. Mic check, test 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2. Mic check, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Check. Test 1, 2. Mic check. Thanks for coming. They're pulling in right now, so probably take them maybe another 5 minutes to get his bearings and talk to some people that are here, and then we will be set to do this. So thank you for coming. I give you a white balance. Oh, actually, who needs a white balance? Actually, I could probably lift my shirt up and it'd still be really white. Good, good. Everybody good? All right. All right, thanks.
Yeah, I want to bring my shot.
thank you all for being here. It's a beautiful day in Texas, but it's certainly not a perfect day in Texas because we have a border crisis. And I've certainly seen evidence both visiting facilities in San Antonio, Midland, and also here, and seeing what's going on with these children. And then also spending a lot of time with Customs and Border Patrol and realizing what they're up against. First of all, I want to say how much I appreciate them for the work that they're doing, for the work that they're doing for the country to protect us. They are doing an amazing job under intense pressure and under conditions that they shouldn't have to deal with. So I appreciate the time I've had to spend with them, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate the work that they do, the fact that they risk their lives. And I also want to thank our state police, many of them who are behind me, and my staff. And I particularly want to thank those who took us out today. Major John Lopez was our captain, and I just appreciate these guys going up and down this river and risking their lives, and again trying to protect our state when they're also limited by what federal law and what the federal government is doing. I'm here to see what's going on and call attention to Texans and to the American people that this is a problem, and that the way that we are dealing with it is not working, and the very things that work so well during the last few years that curtailed this have been totally taken away, and now we're under tremendous pressure. I've also had the opportunity while I'm down here to meet with different sheriffs from Texas. There's nothing better than a Texas sheriff, and I think we have a few of those here as well today, and I would love for a couple of those guys to come up. And I don't know what order you guys are coming up, but they're on the ground. These guys are dealing with this issue of illegal immigration and what's happening over the last several months every single day. And I applaud them for their efforts, but they're being overwhelmed, and I'd like for a few of them to tell their story. So, thank you. Thank you, absolutely.
Hello, my name is Micah Harmon. I'm the sheriff in Lavaca County. Lavaca County is not a border county. We're 275 miles inland from the border, but we're dealing with the same issues that are being dealt with down here on the border inland. We've had numerous pursuits and bailouts. Two that come to mind are one where there was a pursuit and the vehicle crashed into a tree. It caught on fire. It had approximately 18 to 20 individuals in it, in the pickup. There was numerous injuries, and that depletes all our resources. Our county is only 19,000 people, and so it depletes our resources. We had to deploy all of our EMS people, our fire departments, all of our law enforcement, and it's a burden and it's a strain on our community having to deal with this. It's not just a border problem. It's not just a Texas problem. It's an America problem. And we have to force the federal government to act on this. We appreciate General Paxton with the lawsuits that he has filed. We have to get the attention of the federal government to step up, allow their border patrolmen to do their job, and let's stop this crisis down here at the border. Thank you all very much.
How y'all doing? My name is Pinky Gonzalez. I'm the sheriff of Refugio County. Refugio County is approximately 180 miles north of here. It's a little rural town with a population under 8,000. But we have just been overwhelmed. What I'm holding here are call slips that have gone through the sheriff's office since January. Lots of call slips on undocumented immigrants and chases, and it just been a burden to our town and to our people. We have had these human smugglers go through our town going 80 miles an hour on 35-mile speed zones. I mean, this is serious stuff. They have no regards for property or human lives, I mean, at all. We have just been overwhelmed with these cases. I have 13 deputies working around the clock, and sometimes I have to call those that are off to come help us. I don't know how many call slips I've got here. I've got plenty of them. Each call slip requires us to work anywhere from 8 to 12 hours on one case. On one case, depleting our resources. We're a rural town. We've got a limited budget, and we're just overwhelmed with this. We have never seen anything like this. I mean, we have dealt with these illegals coming across, coming through our town. Now they're stealing vehicles. We just got through working a case where we had 20 of them bailed out. These bailouts have increased too. They're 10s, they're 20, 15, and we just don't have enough officers. If it wasn't for these brothers and sisters back here behind us in green, I don't know what we do. You know, we team up together and just try to do our darnest. You know, but they're overwhelmed. We're overwhelmed. But I have calculated over 3,000 man hours, deputy man hours since January. Not counting DPS, not counting our border patrols, our EMS. It's got to stop. It really does. It just has to stop. And I appreciate General Paxton coming here and supporting his great state of Texas and the people. And we do, like Sheriff Harmon said, I think our presidential administration up in Washington needs to go to Plan B or do something. We just can't continue. We just cannot. Now, thank you very much.
Sheriff, now we have Jackson County Sheriff AG Lauterbach.
I'm Sheriff Lauterbach from Jackson County. I've been down here 4 times in the last 2 months. I appreciate, first off, a commitment from General Paxton, and I certainly want to thank the men and women of the U.S. Border Patrol, the men and women of the Texas Department of Public Safety. These folks, the sheriffs here in Texas, the border sheriffs, the nationwide issue that we're facing here over these policies from the Biden administration. So Texas is a unique place. Texas is a fantastic state, but we're witnessing here over and over and over and over again and again destructive policies that are detrimental to Texans and Americans in our nation. The American people will solve this at some point in time. Our duty right now is to inform and make sure that the American people understand what's actually happened with policies that are put in place that are truly harmful to this nation. So I appreciate y'all's time. I appreciate the airtime for this. Please get this message out as we try and bring this information to a point here in Texas where something can be accomplished and done here to protect our citizens, which is what we're trying to do. So thank you again for your time today. Again, thank you, General Paxton.
Sure. So there's a reason that we've sued the Biden administration 5 times over immigration. Tremendous harm is being done to this state. Tremendous harm is being done to this nation. The cartels are being enriched, given the opportunity to smuggle drugs, given the opportunity to human traffic, given the opportunity to charge these people exorbitant costs for getting into our state. And we're going to do our best to force the federal government to follow the very laws that they passed and the very laws that they're supposed to follow, including President Biden, who's supposed to enforce these laws, not say that they don't matter. So I'm here to do that. We're going to continue that fight, and hopefully we can begin to protect the citizens of this state and the citizens of this nation. So with that, I think we can open it up for a few questions.
What are you mostly concerned about? COVID, about the migrants being released, or who's making money here?
I'm concerned about all this. Those are all factors that affect Texans negatively. You know, supposedly COVID was, a big deal that we all shut down for. The economy shut down of the entire United States. Our state shut down. We've gotten it under control, and certainly this doesn't help us as we're trying to open our economy up. It could affect jobs, it could affect health, it could cost people's lives, but then also the crime increase with the cartels having more access because, look, our Border Patrol is tied up now with transportation, logistics, and taking care of these kids and families. There's not as many resources to guard the border, which means that the cartels have greater access, They have greater access to bring their drugs in, and that's why these sheriffs are here, because they are suffering the consequences of those policies.
Did you meet with any local sheriffs? And
Wait, let me go here first, I'll come back.
Sorry. Let's talk about the impact this could have in a city, in Kansas City or somewhere in the Midwest, about the drugs coming in. If there's people that think, well, I don't live along the border, this doesn't concern me. Let's talk about that, General Paxton, because I think that's important.
No, there's no doubt. I mean, this is just a launching point. You know, they get across the river with their drugs or their whatever they're smuggling, and it's going around the country. So Americans may think this is a border problem, and certainly it is most intense here, and it affects us maybe more, but it ultimately does affect the entire country, because COVID is also being spread past Texas borders by the fact that they're here and they're moving on to other places, and people are being infected here. And then we also just have the whole issue with drugs and human trafficking. That will affect the entire nation. So thank you for that question. Yes, sir.
Did you meet with any of the local sheriffs, and did you invite any of them to come with you today?
So I don't have the list of the sheriffs we invited. We invited numerous sheriffs. We had met with some others yesterday, so this isn't the whole group. I don't have the entire list. We can get that to you. So,
Any other questions?
General, I have a question. Can you talk about people's private property, their private land? And I know the sheriffs probably have a comment on that. I mean, ranchers, what's happening when the smugglers come in and they need a place to get the people through?
that is such a great question. I'm going to let you answer that, because you guys deal with this every day. So if you don't mind, you see it, and you can speak for the sheriffs about what you see every day.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. It's Texas landowners, homeowners here. Imagine you wake up every day and you look at a game camera if you live in any of the counties around here, up and down the Texas border, and you see groups between 50 to 100 that are within 50 yards of your home every day, trespassing on your property, cutting your fences. We had information yesterday from one Texas sheriff from Kinney County where 26 fences cut in one day. 26 fences. So imagine that's your property. Imagine that your property is trespassed every day from people from another country, and live that type of life where you can't go to your barn at night. You can't have your kids go home from school early for fear that they're going to be encountered by someone that they don't know. So imagine that, and put yourself in those shoes, and put yourself in that position. Put your wife and your children in those positions day after day under these policies, and you'll understand the frustration that Texas sheriffs have and Texas law enforcement is experiencing right now.
Well, what if I say no to a drug smuggler? Look, it's my property. You can't come on with me.
Do you think that's how effective do you think that is? I mean, these are real-world problems and real-world questions that are affecting Texas and America from these policies.
Next question.
General Paxton, I have a question. So just recently, one of the Gulf Cartel leaders was captured. I know that Texas and Tamaulipas, right over there, they have a system where if you know and they have tips, you can send them in either location. I guess what's the update, or how does the state work with Tamaulipas? Because a lot of people are waiting to cross from Tamaulipas, and this is the biggest, entry point. Is there any updates on that? How do you explain that?
I don't have any updates. All I know is that when I've been down here, the cooperation between the feds with Border Patrol, Customs Enforcement, and state police in our office and the sheriffs has been remarkable. And I think if you interviewed every one of these guys back here, they would tell you that there's a lot of sharing of information. There's a lot of backup, because we need all the resources we can get. We need to do this together, and we are doing this together despite the impediments that the federal government puts in the place of even their own people. Let's do one more question. Okay. Anybody else? Brian?
Oh, no, I wasn't talking about the impact this has on the schools. Local schools, they're already packed, right, with the surge of population here in the state of Texas. Now you add on all these kids coming across. How is that disrupting the learning process?
Well, this is one of my frustrations, is that we have a budget in Texas. We do it every 2 years. We try to figure out what our costs are going to be. And when you bring these education costs in, we're required by a Supreme Court precedent to educate these kids. And so it adds to our costs significantly, because it's expensive to educate kids. And so these schools are now having to take on this responsibility that they didn't know they were going to have to fund. And it puts a lot of pressure on our school system, and it puts a lot of pressure on their ability to educate the kids that are already there when they're having to bring in new kids, one that may not be fluent in English, and so they got to deal with that, but also may not be up to par on their grade level. So it definitely siphons resources from what is already a stretched system. So anyway, I'll do one more, and then we got to go.
Any idea why local
No,
media?
let her ask. You already got one.
What would your message to Biden and Vice President Harris be as he heads into his congressional address tonight, his 100th day in office on Friday? They've yet to visit the border. What do you tell them directly?
I would ask them to set aside the politics and please care. Please care about my state. Please care about the border states. Please care about the rest of the country. The fact that they're not coming down here, the fact that it seems like they're trying to hide a lot of what's going on. They're very, very secretive. They're not letting us know who's coming in, who's leaving. There should be more cooperation. If they're going to have this open border policy, we're going to be affected by it every day. And so I would ask them, one, follow the law. Start following the law. Go to policies that work, and please care about our state, because it doesn't seem like they really care right now. So thank you all very much, and thank these guys for everything they've done. I really appreciate it. Thank you, guys.